5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back to the House of Greatness. This is Maximum Blackness. I'm your host, Anna Yerb, and tonight we got my co-host Testa in the building after a long time. This heifer been on vacation, y'all. And we got Miss Mia Ward's back up in here along with Miss I Sparkle 624, y'all. What's happening?
You got them all today.
We got all the ladies in the building tonight. What's up?
Hi.
Good to have y'all back.
It is good to have everybody back. And tonight we are going to talk about parenting. Testa, take it away.
Yes, I think it is very important to give some parents some solutions to coping with kids, especially children who have challenges. We don't want to call them bad kids. Please keep those words out of your mouths. They're not bad children. The things that they are doing is upsetting and bad, but they're not bad children. They just need some guidance and they need some of your support, and you need to learn how to give them that support to change the rodeo that y'all on right now. Because I'm sure, even if they 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and go all the way up to 18 from there, they doing something that's bothering your soul, and you need to figure out how to cope. Because you got a lot more years ahead of you. When they grown, when you want to say they 18 and grown, they still ain't grown. So let's learn how to find some solutions up until they turn 35, 40 years old, because that's how long you're going to be supporting them. FYI. So tonight, we're going to learn how to, or discuss how to establish some routines to start the path of changing those habits that you find to be upsetting or bad that these children may have. So all of us here on this panel have children tonight, and all of us have children from toddler or kids age up until they're grown. So I feel we should start the conversation off by saying, what is some of the challenges that you have found parenting so far? Just give me 1 or 2.
Gotta think about this.
I find it difficult when it comes to allowing your kid to express themselves. I think that's difficult because where it's like you want them to express themselves, you don't want them to feel like their feelings don't matter. But at what point is too much? But at the same time, it's kind of like they need their own limit of too much. But do you give them that, or do you let them choose that themselves? Because it feels good to get out what you want to say in the length and how you want to.
It is.
So
it makes sense.
The kids trying to find ways to let them express themselves, because that's where I'm at right now with my daughter.
That part.
I want her to express herself, but I want her to be respectful because she's around adults all the time. All she does is she kind of mature like a little adult almost, sort of. So I want her to know it's okay to express yourself, but you're still a kid and you have to kind of, I guess, I don't want to say censor, but be respectful, and not everything needs so much of a reaction, if that makes sense. Because that's what she's at right now. She reacts to everything.
Like most children do. You are making sense. I actually want to piggyback off that because that is a big topic, especially we are 80s babies. We are 80s, early 90s babies, and we come from that time frame where you ain't getting. You said what? You did. What you just said?
Stay in the child's place.
Pop in the mouth. Let me get this ruler on your hand because of what you just said. Don't close your ears. We come from that time frame where respect is big, but now we're in the time frame that we got to live with our kids, and the generation has changed to say, hey, you almost can freely speak because we can't whoop your ass. You almost can freely speak because we can't. You can be told to do something, but you don't have to do it. No, these children don't have to really do it anymore. Because the only solution to that point is to throw their ass at your house or juvie or group home, because we can't whoop them. So, truth be told, I find it more peaceful to give them that space to speak respectfully. We've spoken about this before. I'm a firm believer of giving them 30 minutes out of a week to speak however they need to speak, just as long as they're respectfully speaking their piece and how they feel, because they need that off their chest. They often feel like they're not being heard. They go around teachers all day, they don't listen to them, depending on where they're at. You go around these kids all day, they have their emotional feelings in school with these children, and then you come home to parents who may not be listening to them. They may be working too much. They may not have time, don't know how, don't want to listen to their children, and you kind of got to give yourself 10, even if it's 10 minutes, that child appreciates saying, this is how I felt today. This is what was going on. Even if they mad at you, Mama, I'm mad at you today because this is what I felt. They need that. They do. Now, the words that come out their mouth, some things you want to choose your battles with. Because you got a lot more battles to fight for. Now, if they ain't cursing at you and they don't need to curse at all. Yeah, but they cursing around you. I don't subject to neither one. But if they so mad that they got to pull out a curse word or two, sometimes you got to sit back and be like, my child is really upset right now. They normally don't do this. I got to let them let it out.
That expression.
How y'all feel about
being able to speak up, at being able to talk and express themselves, because a lot of these kids, as you said, they're stressed out just like us almost. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole bunch going on, and they gotta have that one person or that 2 or 3 people that they can just talk to and just express themselves without you being like, who you think you talking to? You know what I'm saying? They gotta feel that they can come to you at all times. And that's one thing I wanted to establish with my kids, because it is hard to just go through a day and not rage out, you know what I'm saying, by keeping all that bottled up inside. So yeah, I agree with all of it. Like, I've had times where my baby done came in and telling me about a coach or somebody that done tried her in school and talking to her crazy, all because she had a scarf on. And she went and she said a few cuss words. She realized she was wrong. She apologized, but they came out. She was upset. I'm not going to be mad at her about that. Why? Because, again, they need that, you know what I'm saying, sometimes. I'm not saying sit around me and cuss all the time because you're going to get chopped in the throat, but otherwise, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ooh,
but under anger, yes, it's something that you got to let them do. You kind of got to choose your battles, because I promise you one day this curse is going to be put aside. They're going to walk in there and tell you, Mama, I'm pregnant, baby. They might walk in there and say, Mama, I
you gotta be prepared for everything.
Rob the stove one day. And I just need to, this is what it
Times
is.
Are changing, and these kids are changing with it. These kids have come out like they've been born before, like they know how to do everything. You don't need your help sometimes. And you gotta be like, all right, go ahead and make that mistake. You'll be coming to tell me about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've tried to shelter. Sheltering is not what you want to do with a child. You're gonna push the child away. You're gonna push them away. Let them live, let them learn, but make sure you there to, talk to them. Be their ear. That part. Yeah.
Support them along the way. Mm-hmm. Have that open door, because you don't want them going to their friends or their friends' parents who don't parent like you and giving them that advice.
Trying to tell you.
How you feel, Leo?
So I agree with everything that's been said. And like I always tell people, children, they're little people. They have their own minds, their own way of thinking, and their own way to go. So as parents, it's not our job to control them. We're here to guide them, and the decisions that they make, from a young age going into adulthood, we should be there to support them and give them we've been through this, and so we'll tell them things that to stay away from, give them tips and pointers, but ultimately they're going to choose their own way. We just got to be there to support them and, console them, and help them figure out the next steps moving forward, because we're going to fail. Failure is learning. It's just how you deal with failure is what makes you a better person, what makes you or breaks you. So and then their job as our kids, once they're supposed to make us better as parents too, because we can learn from them too, so,
Yep.
Yeah, those are my thoughts
Because
on
their
that.
little me's does not mean their stories are
Uh-huh.
irrelevant. Because we learn it from, we grow with our children most times. We have
Yep.
babies at 16, 17, 15, 14, and you are growing with your
That's
child.
gonna help a lot.
And the most
It's gonna help a
easiest thing
lot.
you can
And
do is
I
bring
always
some
tell my
peace into that
kids, I
home
can't
by
help you if you don't talk to me.
listening.
I can't help you if I don't know. Let me
Right.
know so I know what to do. Whatever it is, if you think I'm
Yep.
gonna be mad about it, just know I know how to keep a cool head. Tell me anyway. I might freak out in another room. You ain't gonna see it, you know what I'm saying? But tell me anyway. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna have my fit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all ain't gonna know about that. That's a whole nother portion. But you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? For that time frame, I'm like, yeah, okay, yep. I might need to take a moment, but otherwise, I'm gonna be able to talk them through it. But tell me everything. Tell me everything. Don't
Yep.
keep nothing from me because I can't help you. I can't help you.
Yep. How you feel, Annie? Girl?
I mean, I already kind of said how I feel.
Yeah,
I
you
was gonna
did.
elaborate and say I feel like any kid, whether they have disability needs or not, because if your kid has a disability, you definitely want to try to get them on some type of schedule, and have little things instilled in you and them that can
Yep.
be triggered when they're having episodes and stuff like that. Like this one lady online, she starts clapping when her son gets really excited so that he can calm down, or she'll start saying telling him to calm down in a certain way and stuff like that. Those things are really important if you're going to be dealing with this kids, period, even more when dealing with kids with disability. Now, for a normal kid, like I guess my child, you would say, I homeschool her, but she has a schedule. She sit up here with me and she does her homeschool work while I'm at work. She gets her breaks when I get my breaks. Like, she has her schedule as well. And when we see her, going through certain things, we do try to have her with her, she just really needs her safe space.
Yeah.
So we give her safe space, and it's working for now.
It works. Because that's what it is. That safe space generates peace. I talk about peace all the time. You don't have peace in your home or that child space alone. I mean, fuck your space. You grown, but that child space. If you don't have peace in that child, whew.
I know I call them little spawns, little decent.
They are future.
Kids are really a beautiful thing in life. Like they really are, and it's a beautiful thing when you can be a part of a child's life, no matter if you are the biological parent or not. Because being a part of any child's life is just rewarding when you're there for them. Like it comes back to you tremendously, especially when they love you for it.
You grow, they grow. And I must say, to add on to this, because I know it sounds so easy to do, just let your child have that moment. We know that we want to react to the things that they may come to us about. But the number one rule is to learn to take deep breaths and just look at them. Literally, just look at them. You do not have to respond. And because your response, the rules that you lay down before you start this method is, I may not respond right now because I may need to take a moment, but I'm letting you get it off your chest. That's really what that needs to happen, because you need to learn to come back and say, now I know we talked about this and I've had a moment to think about it. Because that child now knows they had that safe space. You ain't fuss. You ain't come back and say, you shouldn't have did this. I don't know why you did this right. They don't want to hear that. They don't need to hear that right now. They're going to hear it because you're going to come back in a calmer, cooler, collected way and be like, now this was wrong. And I'm telling you this as your parent, and then I'm going to tell you what we're going to do about it, because you need to know it's wrong, but you're not in trouble. There's safe space. You got to learn as a parent to just never say nothing when you first, even if it's in the peak of the moment. You cannot learn to always respond. Bite your lip for a minute, because you're going to get it off your chest as a parent, but you got to learn to come back if you don't have a cool head.
I have a laugh factor, and I guess when I get in certain situations or something, like if I'm trying not to get pissed off, I just laugh it off.
Oh, no.
Talk about it later.
Laughing will not work for a lot of children. And I tell you this because they don't see it as, ha ha ha, my mama just laughing at the situation. No, they actually see it as, my mother is being an asshole. And I came to her, and now she's laughing at
No,
my
I'm saying
situation.
like don't
And
laugh at them in their face like that. Like if your child, like if you're passing by and your child is in that
Oh
moment where they're
yeah.
letting themselves go and you hear them cussing and stuff and you know you really want to say something, like don't ha ha laugh in their face. Like in your mind, chuckle it off and keep it moving.
yes,
Yeah.
You
just
took
make
that
it
way too
serious.
far.
But
You
some
ran
parents
with
will
that.
laugh.
You can.
You
Some
ran with that
parents
like that.
will
You
laugh.
don't laugh at your kid when they're coming to you with their problems because that's how you're gonna get them to not come to you with their
Girl,
problems.
I used to
Yeah.
text back because cell phone been around, got kids up in it. I used to text back when I'm mad and be like
Yes.
emojis,
Yes.
ha
Yes.
ha, or I just put it
Yeah.
sarcastically being spoken word, and the children know it. They know it. It don't change nothing. So I've had to change that with myself alone
Yeah.
and come to the conclusion that just let the children talk, and then I come back to you because even so much say I ain't got time for this. I understand. I hear you, but I'm not gonna acknowledge you right now. And if you use them in these big sentences, I'm not acknowledging you right now, but I hear you.
Talking is a way of
I don't have
learning your
nothing new to
child.
say.
You know what I'm saying? You
Thank
talking
you
to
for
them, you
telling me.
learning things about them. That way you kind of know how to handle them or how to address them or how to deal with them. Like I sit back and have conversations with my baby now. You know what I'm saying? And with me and my baby girl, when we get into it, she knows she need to give me my time. She need to just go on ahead by herself, and then we come back together. She like, oh, I know you was mad, mom. Oh yeah, I know you know. But at least you knew to leave me alone. At least you need to walk away because you done tried me. You knew what was coming if you didn't. So anywho, yeah, they know too. They know they can tell that your mother did not react. She just walked away from you.
They
Don't go in there
know.
and follow her. You gonna get what you're asking for. So just leave her alone. Give her time. Then y'all can talk amongst each other and figure something out later. So I mean, there's just so many things, so many surprises and everything you get from these kids these days. You just gotta listen, have that ear, and pay attention because they're gonna give you the signs. They're
Yes,
gonna
you
show
do.
you.
Yep. Mostly with that being added on to that, if you just remember that we would love to knock our children out, y'all. We really would love to just.
It's not.
I'm telling y'all that is not the answer. Sometimes you do want to keep your ass, but it's not really the answer.
It don't help.
That you don't realize that's how some kids. It ain't just some parents picking on their kids at home. Some kids start bullying.
That's the only way they know how to
communicate like that at home.
That's all they know.
Other people ass like that shit ain't cool.
They only have, and that's why we talked about flight. Because flight meaning they running away. It'll be some other terminology coming. Yeah, because you gotta learn some stuff as a parent. Take care of these children and turn things around when they get this bad. And what you're teaching your children today about communication, they're gonna learn to use this in relationships later on. And have a little school call, level head. Hell, you gonna tighten up in your own relationship going through this with your children, okay? So.
Because the way we react in our relationships a lot of the times does stem from our childhoods and our relationships with parents and family members. So that can't be stressed enough as to how we need to treat our kids better and by fixing our mental health first and then being able to parent better. That's why they say we shouldn't have kids to certain ages, but as
but at that point in time, you just learn.
Okay.
You being fruitful.
I when you just at an age that you're ready, you just waited and maybe you might be a little more financially stable, but your mental might still be fucked up because sometimes you don't know you have these problems.
And you just learn it with your kid from that point on.
Nope.
If you started out young, you learn it with them, you're figuring it out, but
I mean, I think the older siblings here. That y'all were the test babies. Unfortunately, like usually the oldest be the test baby because you the first blueprint of your
Pretty
parent
much.
child.
Y'all don't want to know about
We got
that.
two oldest kids on here.
Woo,
That's why I was like,
upbringing
the
back
oldest
then,
because I was straight
upbringing
baby.
totally different.
I'm the middle
When we
child,
speak
so
back
I, you
then, oh
know.
no, shut your mouth. Go in the room, mama is here. And
Right,
he's gonna talk to you.
absolutely.
Back then, don't you try to jump into a grown folk conversation. Oh man.
Yep. Nope.
At all.
Can't even have emotions
Nope.
back then. Like your emotions was not emotions. What are you laughing at? What are you crying for? What are you sitting here looking like that for? You want a butt whipping for crying?
I don't know what to do. No.
For real.
We was
I used to get told stop looking in my mouth, and I wasn't
Stop
even
looking
Right.
in your
don't
mouth.
roll your
It's
eyes, don't
disrespectful.
turn your
Stop
head.
looking
Look
like-
at me when I'm talking to you.
Don't say that shit no more. Don't say that shit
That
Close your ears.
Right.
Close your
Don't
ears.
say
I can still
behind.
hear
You
you.
can't say front. Don't say
no more.
long.
that
You gotta
Don't say
broke
bitch.
wind.
you better not
Bitch.
say
You gotta
fuck.
say who broke
You better
wind
say
around
who.
here.
What?
Not
For
fart.
real.
Can't say fuck.
Pass gas.
Breaking wind.
Bro, I almost got a whooping for that word
You
fart.
can't even say darn around this motherfucker.
Yeah.
For
Right.
real.
What you said? Pootie.
Yup.
And I'm like, ain't no lie. My daughter, I let her say fart. I was some shit wrong with it. She say fart. I
Like,
let her
yeah,
have
you
the
said that word.
Let her have the
I
word.
ain't poop no more.
Yep. Yep. It's very hard in this society even to I can say, hey, don't say this word. Don't say this word. These kids they go to school around these other kids and they saying all types of words. You kind of gotta choose your battle.
Yeah.
It's okay to tell your child not to curse. I don't agree with the cursing. I don't agree with it at all around an adult because when they walk out this door, you represent
Your mama ain't teach
me.
you better?
And I didn't go out there and curse out of the door.
Hold up, bro.
Like, don't. This ain't my child right now. For real. Like, no. So, but at the end of the day, I swear, if you just allow a little bit of inch of freedom of speech, it will change some things. But let your child come to you and be able to have that space to talk to you. I promise you, it gives them some care and that you care about them. You love them. You actually are listening to them, and it will change some things starting off. Now we're gonna keep going with some solutions because I got some solutions for y'all. But you gotta be willing to do the work. Most often, parents send their kids to counseling and not themselves with the child, and that does not help.
Yeah,
so if you're not going to do the work with your
do
child, don't listen to this podcast.
Test her.
Test her if you please. That's Testa for y'all. Testa want to talk about the parenting. She wants y'all to match your parenting lives. All right. Anybody got anything to say to the people? I'm just Friday, y'all. Like, I don't know what's wrong. Friday, right? Make that. Hey, look here.
Got that hair dude.
Look here. Stay back to the motherfucking black. Follow us on motherfucking YouTube, Facebook. We got Ice624 in the building. Leo Wars over here. Testa came through again today, and we're gonna see y'all every Monday for the podcast. And we out.
Max to the black.
Straight. We out. I'm too hyped today. We out. Done. Y'all so fucking silly. I guess